Good morning, crafty friends. Happy Friday. We've made it through another week. This is Flosstube number, I think we're at 69 this week. I didn't write it down in my planner, but I think last week was 68, so we know what this week is. Anyway, welcome to Flosstube. My name is Jessie. My pronouns are she, her, and they, them. And this is my channel where I talk about crafting and primarily cross stitch and a little bit of knitting and other crafty stuff that I get into, but mostly cross stitch and knitting. So yeah, it's been a week, right? It's been another week. The time is so weird now. It's even weirder than it has been because with doing Twitch during the week, I'm interacting with a lot of you a lot more often, and so it just like I don't know, the weeks are just blending together. But overall it's been a decent week. The cats took over Twitch this week. So if you were able to join it on the weekday streams, the lunchtime streams, Wednesday and Thursday were very cat heavy and very crafting, very scanty on the crafting. I don't know if we'll have an invasion today or not. I just never know. For a moment, all three of them were in the room. Luna's currently looking out the window. Loki's asleep in his bed. Hopefully he'll stay there. He already tried to get on my knitting again, so I don't know that I'm going to be posting all of the Twitch streams to YouTube. Some of them I will, and I think probably the last two Twitch streams where the cats took over I will probably post to YouTube, just because cats, and why not. And then Monday I did a longer live stream in honor of Betty White. Did not get a lot of stitching done because the chat was on fire. It was fun. I promise I will be doing Twitch streams at other times. It's just that the way things have worked out, I did do a Twitch stream Wednesday evening, my time, but that was to do Stardew Valley. So I know that was not, when you're here for the crafting, the video games are not necessarily your thing. So I'm gonna be mixing it up. I'm gonna be doing different stuff. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure you follow me on Twitch. I'll make sure that the link is down here. I also have a Discord. I don't think I mentioned that last week. I created a Discord server for mislaidpages. At the moment, I only have a few channels, one of which is Show Me on Twitch. So if you drop pictures in the Show Me on Twitch channel on Discord, then when I am on a Twitch stream, I will show those pictures to everybody. We'll talk about them. It's really fun to see the stuff that you're working on. If you want to show me what you're working on, but you don't necessarily want the internet at large to see it, then you can post those. There's a channel for knitting, a channel for cross-stitching. If we need one, I can put a channel for general crafting. There's also a show me your pets. So just as a general, what is the word? A general statement. Generally speaking, if you want things to be shown on Twitch / to the internet at large, put it in Show Me on Twitch. If you want it to only be available to the folks at Discord, you can put it in any of the other channels. I don't plan on showing any of the other channels to anybody else. So I just want to put that out there. That way, if you're concerned about people seeing things, your username, your pictures, whatever, know that the only things that will actually be shown to anybody outside of Discord are the things that go in Show Me on Twitch. So I just want to let you know that. That way you know what I'm doing with your pictures. I know, just in case, so that you feel safe and comfortable sharing your information. Or not your information, but your pictures and stuff like that. So stitching. I did a bunch of stitching over the weekend and have not stitched at all since Monday. So I've been doing a lot of Twitch. I've also, the last 2 days, I've been playing a lot of video games because I got Stardew Valley because, thank you, Rachel, for enabling me. I got Stardew Valley, so I've been a little bit hyper focused on that for the last couple of days. That's probably going to fade pretty quickly because it seems to take a really long time to get anything accomplished in the game. There is not enough dopamine rush, because it's not like I can go quick and do this one thing and then turn it in and get the prize or the achievement or whatever. It's taking forever to do things. So we'll see how long I stick with that. I probably will do it just for the streaming, just because the conversations on the streaming are hilarious. But anyway, stitching. So I don't have any I don't have any new starts for the week. I don't have any finishes for the week, but I do have a lot of progress to show you. So I'll get into that in a second. I have a tiny bit of knitting progress to show you. And what else? Oh, the tabs from last week. So 6 of you, I have 6 sets to give away, and 6 of you said you were interested in the tabs. So I'll be sending these out next week, assuming that those of you who mentioned tabs in your comments, if you filled out the Google form and I have your address, I will send these out next week. So that is that. A little bit of housekeeping. What else? I'm trying to think. I guess we'll just get into the cross stitching and we'll get into the knitting. So I will say that this planner has been a lifesaver. What I've started doing is you know, every day, every other day, I actually write down what projects I worked on, which is so helpful because when I sit down to do this video, I can just look through and see, okay, well, I worked on this, this, and this. Let me pull these out because I've been bouncing around projects so much that it's been difficult to keep in my head what all I've worked on since the last time I made a video for y'all, so I don't remember what I'm supposed to show you. So having this planner from Mislaidpages has been fantastic, and now that I have all my tabs in here, I'm so happy with all the tabs. So yeah, I am loving this. I've also gotten super organized with my model stitch. So I made this thing. I have these sticky notes that have tabs on them too, and I made this little chart so that I can track my progress with my big model stitch. It is 20 parts. It is huge. I've gotten almost like the equivalent of about 2 parts done of 20. So I think I'm about halfway or quarter way through. Well, I finished 1 part. I'm halfway or quarter way through a 2nd part, and I am like 100 stitches from a finish on a 3rd part. So I did stitch on this on the model stitch a bunch. I put 400 stitches in it on Saturday. I can't show it to you, but I put 400 stitches in it on Saturday because I was just flying, and I'm probably gonna work on it some this weekend. That was the other thing. This weekend is 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. So Jen of Corks and Stitches here on YouTube, it's her brainchild. It was her thing, this whole 24 hours of cross stitch thing. So there are a couple of different ways. There's a Facebook group. If I can remember, I'll put links. I don't know if I'll remember. But there's a Facebook group, and Jen is also on YouTube. So the whole 24 hours of cross stitch thing, to just sum it up for you as quickly as I can. The idea is, you know, it's just a, you know, self-paced event for you to get progress on your cross stitching. So just like Whip Go, it's very much what you want to get out of it, you put into it, and so on and so forth. So there are no hard and fast rules. Nobody's going to police you. Nobody's going to come and get you if you don't follow the rules, you know, that kind of thing. Some folks do the 24 hours of cross stitch literally, so they will pick a time over the course of the weekend, which starts today, over the course of the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they will start cross stitching and they will stitch for 24 hours straight. Team no sleep. Hashtag no sleep. So you know, they'll stay up the whole 24 hours and stitch all the way through. I'm not capable of that anymore. When I was in my 20s, I could have stayed up, but now that I'm much older than that and my eyesight is not so great, and when I get tired, my eyesight is even worse, I'm not so much with these straight 24 hours of cross stitching. But I occasionally do attempt to get 24 hours of cross stitching into the weekend. So if I spread it out equally, that's 8 hours a day. That usually doesn't happen. I usually don't hit the 24-hour mark. I don't think I've hit it. Maybe I've hit it once. I doubt that I've hit it once. I think my max is like 21 hours over the course of the weekend. And I know that at least on Sunday, I have possible plans with a friend. So that's going to eat into my stitching time on Sunday. So chances are not good that I'll get 24 hours, but I am going to do as much stitching as I can this weekend. So let's talk about whips first, and then let's talk about what I've worked on so that you can actually see some things, and then I will talk about my intentions for 24 hours of cross stitch. Then we'll talk about knitting. How does that sound? So first thing I worked on this week, And Jasmine in particular will probably be disappointed. I already let them know that had a frog in my throat. We don't like frogs anywhere. So I already let Jasmine know that I had moved on past last week's rude rude stitching on Creepy Cryptids by the Witchy Stitcher. So I got 100 more stitches into Mothman. So Mothman is looking a little bit more like Mothman now, and less like a rude representation of something. So I think Jasmine might be disappointed, but but it's all good. I had already done this before I saw Jasmine's comment on last week's video, so so yeah. But that's where we are with Mothman. There are almost 1,000 stitches in this tiny little bug thing. So getting a finish on it in one day is not quite as possible as I had originally expected. Something, and oh, it's just 20 something by 20 something. It's 1,000 stitches. It's 1,000 stitches, y'all. Actually, it's like 50 by 50 or something. Even so, it's a lot of stitches. So probably I'll pick this back up on the 31st. And I'll just, I thought that I could get Creepy Cryptids finished by the end of the year doing the whole Dark 13 stitching. Now I'm thinking that was maybe a little bit ambitious. So if I want to get it finished by the end of the year, I'll probably have to stitch on it other times as well. But current intentions are to work on this for Dark 13. So I'll pick it back up on the 31st of January. Is my current thought on this, because I'm not feeling the 40 count right now. So that maybe was a poor decision on my part. But I didn't want to buy new fabric, and I knew I needed a bigger piece than just a fat quarter doing things the way I wanted to do it. So that was the easiest way to do it. So I put in 100 stitches on Creepy Cryptids. I also worked on Krampus. So I put in about 300 stitches on Krampus. And that's a guesstimate, because until later in this week, until Monday or so, I was not writing down exact stitches that I had stitched, just sort of estimating. Going forward, when I'm using Pattern Keeper, I'm actually going to write down the exact number of stitches I stitched each day, because not because I just need to know. Okay, how do I explain this? It's not because I'm obsessed with how many stitches I'm getting. It's to give me an idea of what is a realistic number of stitches for me in a given week and in a given month. So because I'm using Pattern Keeper and keeping track of the stitches is very, very easy through Pattern Keeper, I'm just going to write that down and kind of tally it up at the end of the week to just kind of see. Because last year I was very surprised. I set my WIPCO goals for about 500 stitches for each piece that I was working on, and I was shocked to find that I was really able to stitch more like 1,000 stitches per piece and then do other stitching besides. So I kind of have this question in my head, well, how many stitches am I really capable of? Like, how many can I do in a month without pushing myself or feeling stressed or excuse me, feeling pressured about the stitch counts and that sort of thing. So that's why I'm keeping track of it, just to see, so I'm stitching what I feel like stitching, and then at the end of the week I write down whatever number that is, because I'm just curious. So that'll help me set really realistic goals going forward. So this is Krampus, and I am a little bit more than halfway done with Krampus Klein now. I think I called it Krampus Sampler earlier. It's Krampus Klein, which comes with the Krampus Sampler. I'm really, really hoping to get a finish on this weekend. So if I get anything like 24 hours of cross stitching in this weekend, that's totally doable. I think I've got 800 stitches or so, and a lot of that is actually the border that goes around here. So I expect that to be relatively quick to stitch, just because it's not going to be a lot of counting and figuring out, where it goes. It's going to be seeing how the pattern goes and then just like stitching. So, yeah, hoping for a finish on this weekend. That'll be my second finish of 2022, which will be very exciting. It'll be my first completed WIPCO goal, which is also very exciting. So yeah, so that's one of my thoughts for this weekend, is to try to get a finish on Krampus Sampler. So there's that. And then last but not least, the other thing I worked on this week, on Monday, it was Betty White's birthday. It would have been her 100th if she had been able to stay with us. And so I did a special Twitch stream. I did it in my usual lunchtime slot, but I just did like a 2 or 3 hour stream instead of a 1 hour stream. And all I actually got stitched. So I already had this border. You might remember that from January 1st. I started this on January 1st. And all I actually had during the stream, all I managed to get was "It's Like That." I think that's all I had gotten. Or no, I got through "It's Like That Old" because I started on Scandinavian afterward. So I got 4 words stitched during the stream. It was about 100 stitches, a little over 100 stitches. And then the rest of this I did after the stream on Monday evening, afternoon. And I'm loving this stitch. It's so fun. So I'm using my own color conversion. It's charted in Classic Colorworks, and I have converted using Color and Cotton and Leo and Roxy flosses. So I think these are all Color and Cotton so far. I forget which color is a Leo. Oh, it's a pink that's a Leo and Roxy. But yeah, so far I'm loving my conversion. I'm a little nervous about this border piece though, because it turns out that the color I selected from Color and Cotton is a limited edition or a special edition, and they may not get that back in stock. This color is called, what is this color called? Because y'all, if you have, if anybody has a line on some of this color, I would love, love, love for you to let me know where you can find it. I've been looking at all the different stitchy shops that I can find that might carry Color and Cotton. And so far I have not found anyone who has it. And I need 3 more skeins of it. Okay, so this color is Color and Cotton Autumn Foliage. So yeah, if you have autumn foliage, or if you know where I can find some autumn foliage from Color and Cotton, please let me know. I did put on their website to be emailed when they had it back in stock, but when I went to check the website again over the weekend, they didn't even have a listing for it anymore. So I'm very, very concerned that I may not be able to find any more of it. Now, I haven't done very much. This is 200 stitches or so. My preference would be to not pick this out. I need to, if I can get a skein of the Classic Colorworks that is supposed to be, or the called for Classic Colorworks for the border, I might compare and see if it's close enough, because if it's close enough, I'll use what I have of this, and then the rest of the border I'll just do in the Classic Colorworks if I can't find autumn foliage. But I would really like to be able to continue in autumn foliage, but it was not a great call on my part. I'm gonna have to be more careful about that when I convert in the future. There's only 2 colors in this chart that need more than 1 skein, and that was one of them. But this was the perfect color based on the information that I had available to me at the time. So the other color that I need multiple skeins of is this color here, which I can't remember what this is. This is Caribbean. And it's very different than the called for Bejeweled, but this is readily available from Color and Cotton. I can get more of these. So this I'm not so worried about. Also, if I wanted to, I have some Bejeweled I found after the fact. And the fish is like a lot of where Bejeweled is used, and it's a darker teal color. So what I might actually do, rather than buying more skeins, depending on how I feel when I get to it, I could use this blue for all the words, and then use the Bejeweled for the fish to give the fish a darker color. So we'll see how it shakes out. But if you have a line on Color and Cotton autumn foliage, let me know. Please let me know. I would love to find more of this. I don't know if any more exists. So but that's where we are. So this is like almost 500 stitches on Monday. Let me get back to my page. let's see, yeah, 469 stitches. 69 is the number of the day, apparently. So yeah, I stitched 469 stitches. And it's so funny. So a lot of folks are working on this using the hashtag Betty White Tribute Sal, which I think is from DNA Craft Geeks. I think she or they, DNA Craft Geeks, I'm not sure what their pronouns are, is hosting that hashtag. So their plan all along was to stitch this for Betty White's birthday, for Betty White's 100th birthday. But obviously that plan backfired since unfortunately Betty White wasn't with us on her birthday. But they still hosted the hashtag, and a lot of people are working on this, and it's been interesting to see different people posting their whips because of how different people approach stitching something new. It's so interesting to me to see how folks attack a chart. So, a lot of folks will start in the middle of a chart, which is totally valid. So I've seen some middle starts. I've seen a lot of corner starts like mine, but watching where they go with their start once they get into the pattern is really, really interesting. So I think it was actually DNA Craft Geeks themselves. I saw that they started, like, I think part of the border going vertically here. And then jumped onto like the first finger of the hand and then went down with the leash to the fish. So they have just the barest little start over here, and then it's all the stitching that they did is on the line and the fish. And then I've seen other people who, instead of going this way, went this way. And it's really interesting to me. That's the main reason that Rachel and Heike and I decided to do that Fox View Sal, was to like investigate how we approach stitches differently, and just kind of see what would happen. So yeah, that's been kind of cool watching that happen. So yeah, that's my last whip for the week. So 24 hours of cross stitch. Like I said, I want to work on my my model stitch for Tempting Tangles. That's a big plan, or a big goal, I should say. I don't have a specific goal in mind, other than I want to finish the piece that I already have, that I only have 100 stitches left to finish. So the square that I only have 100 stitches left in. I also would like to finish the partial square that I started. So I'd like to ultimately have 3 pieces of the 20 pieces finished before the end of the weekend. I would like to finish the Krampus sampler. I think that's doable. Those 2 things are definitely doable. That's somewhere between like 12 and 1500 stitches total. So for me, that's roughly 15 hours of stitching. I think those 2 things are doable. Stretch goal is to work on some of the black work for Macintosh Rose. I'm not putting a specific goal on this other than do some black work, because probably I'll get into it and get frustrated with it and not do very much on it. But I think that is something else I would like to work on. So January is quickly coming to an end. My 2 whip go goals are to finish these 2 pieces. Now that is a yearly goal. It's for the whole year. It's not for this month specifically. This piece doesn't, like, it's too pale and shiny. It doesn't want to stay focused. That's okay. If I hold it like that, it works. So these are my 2 whip go goals. Finishing these working on these is my January goal. Finishing these is my 2022 goal. So I think it's realistic that I could finish this before the end of the weekend. So this is, I really feel like this is definitely going to get done before the end of the month. This one before the end of the month, not so much, but I really want to make more progress on it. So those are the main intentions for 24 hours of cross stitch this weekend. And then probably, if I get bored with that, or if I somehow manage to finish all of those intentions, then I'm probably going to bring out trinkets again, because Trinkets needs more love. I really, it's funny. I keep talking about how difficult this fabric is to stitch on, but realistically, this is a fantastic stitch. This is very, very enjoyable to stitch. Between Ymir silks and the design and everything, this is really, really enjoyable to stitch on. It's just I need a lot of light to do it, and I need fresh eyes, which has been difficult because I've had a lot of dry eye issues lately. In fact, every morning I wake up and my left eye, I don't know if it's the way I'm sleeping or something, but my left eye is just like filmy feeling, and it takes forever. Like if I usually don't get it to fully clear up until I've had my shower in the morning. And then even then it can be like dry and crusty all day. And I keep using eye drops and stuff, but it's not helping 100%. But it's the winter and the heat's running all the time because it's cold. So it's just, I have a feeling that's not going to clear up until the end of the winter. But if there's other time, or if I get bored with something else I'm working on, I'll bring trinkets out again because I just love this stitch so much. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So, yep. So those are my intentions. Make sure the camera focuses. Focus. And probably at some point I'll be on Twitch doing some of this because why not, right? The only thing about pardon. And I keep trying to get myself not to say the only thing about twitching, because that's not that's not a thing. The only thing about being on Twitch while I'm stitching is that the angle can be somewhat awkward. So I may need to work out some kind of different angle with my cameras and my and the chat and stuff so that I can stitch and chat at the same time. That's something I've discussed on the stream. It's just logistically difficult because I don't have a great setup for doing all the things at one time. But I feel like why not do some stitching and twitching? Is that a thing? Why not do some streaming and stitching this weekend? If I get fatigued from stitching, I may also stream some Stardew Valley or some other games. We'll see. We will see. Adam is working night shift this weekend, so I'm going to have a lot of time to myself in the evenings. So who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? So yeah, that's all the stitchy everything. I haven't made any new purchases. My Lowry stand has arrived, but I have not had a chance to take it out of the box yet. So that's a thing. But it did arrive. It arrived day before yesterday, I think. So yeah, very excited about that. It got here faster than I expected, which I think is why I haven't taken it out of the package yet, because I wasn't ready for it yet. I expected it to be another couple of weeks. So it's exciting that it got here faster than I thought it would. But yeah, I wasn't prepared. But that is here, so I'm excited to use that very, very soon. Other than that, no new purchases to show you. I did splurge and make a purchase, make an order from the Owl Forest Embroidery, not the Owl Forest, but from Owl Forest Embroidery. I ordered 3 kits. I'm not sure why I decided to get the kits, since you can't really see them, but there's 2 kits right there that I haven't even started. Part of it was on the 15th, a friend of Michelle's wanted to do a birthday sal with Owl Forest. And it was just stitch on an Owl Forest. But I wasn't feeling the like Halloween fall vibes that these 2 kits have, because this is Baba Yaga and what is the other one called? It's like the Frog Princess or something. It's Baba Yaga and I can't remember, but it's a Swamp Witch, I think is what it is. So they're witchy fall, autumn, Halloween-y kind of charts, and I just wasn't feeling the vibe. I have a couple of charts that are for February as well, but I didn't want to start them now instead of in February. So because I have hummingbirds and I have kingfishers. Hello. I also have the new cardinals chart because burbs. And I've actually done a Dinky Dies conversion, excuse me, for hummingbirds and kingfishers. I did that last year, but never did get those started for February. But for the cardinals, I really wanted their threads, their dyed threads, because the cardinals look so fantastic with those bright reds. So I wanted their flosses. So I got 3 kits, and I'm trying to remember which kits. I can't remember which kits. Oh, the fox. There's a fox one, and I can't remember what it's called. Uh, wow, this is super helpful, right? Anyway, I bought 3 kits, and then I also got the threads. Even though I'd done a Dinky Dyes conversion for hummingbirds and kingfishers, I got their threads for hummingbirds and kingfishers. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to stitch with their threads, but I am going to use those threads to also decide if the conversion I had done was appropriate, like if the colors look close enough. That way, if anybody else is interested in using a Dinky Dyes conversion for those charts, I can publish that information. I'll probably, you know, also put kits together so that if folks want to purchase those from me, I can do that. But yeah, so I'm gonna use those for my stitching, but I'm also gonna use them to make sure that the Dinky Dyes conversion I did was good. But I got threads for kingfishers and threads for hummingbirds, but I also got threads for cardinals. To think that those might arrive before February is probably very silly. It's coming from Russia. I have no illusions that package will actually arrive in time for me to use anything for February. However, if it shows up in time, that would be fabulous. Pardon me. So, if it does show up in time, then I will make sure that I start at least one of those 3 charts for February. I know I have fabric already for the hummingbirds and the kingfishers. I need to figure out fabric for the cardinals. I think that one is designed for a brownish, a darker background than kingfishers and hummingbirds. I have a light blue Jobelan that I'm using for those two. So we'll see. That all of that will play into how I set up my bird board too. So instead of listing each of those individually, I may have one block for owl forest, and that block might have to be re-rolled if I don't have what I need. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. Bird boards. Bird boards will happen next week because I don't have it today. So I will figure out how I'm going to set up my bird board, and part of that is I really need to drag out all the kits that I have that I didn't start last year. I already have my list of whips, so that'll be easy enough. I'll probably include whips and also kits, so it'll be like a combination whip go kit go board that will be only for birds, and I'll do some extra rolling and stuff next month to decide. You know, I might do it on a week by week basis, so every week roll 1 or 2 new numbers to go through the board a little faster. So I doubt that I'm going to have any goals of finishing anything because we're only 28 days in February, and and if I do new pieces, if I'm working on different stuff each week, that's gonna make it difficult because none of the pieces that I have are small, of course. Why would any of them be small? They're all massive. Like Blackbird Fractors, it's not massive, but it's too big for, even if I worked on it completely, like if that was the only piece I worked on in February, it probably wouldn't get finished. So yeah, so but that's coming up next week because we do still have one last Friday. Yeah, it's literally the last Friday before February because February starts on Tuesday. So yeah, that will be for next week. So, shall we talk a little bit of knitting? I guess this is going to be a short video. I feel like things have gotten shorter now that I'm not purchasing a bunch of stuff to show you. But that's okay. Purchasing things costs money. And I have other things that I need to be saving my money for these days. So yeah. Let's see. So I have once again been working on pinions. I have not gotten very much progress on this since the last time I showed it to you, I don't think. I can't rightly remember where I was last time I showed it to you. I am now on pinion 11. I'm almost done. I have 3 more rows on pinion 11. I think I was on 10 when I last showed this to you because you can really see, I don't know if you can hear me still, but my nose holds it up better. Because you can really see those ribs a lot better now. I think, oh yeah, I only had a couple of rows of that when we last chatted about knitting. But look at that. Look how that's looking. And I've seen people finishing theirs, blocking them, and stitching them together to make the Nancho type situation, and it looks really cool. And I think last time I pulled this out, I was sort of not stressing, but I was sort of wondering if this was really going to be big enough to make a poncho out of. And when I held this up, I realized, I mean, this is this is definitely at least as wide as I am, and that's before blocking. So it'll be a good generous scarf or shawl once I block it out. And then the way that this gets pieced together, it actually like the end piece is going to come up and connect to, this is going to be really difficult to show you. The end piece is going to come up and it's actually going to connect into the side. Yeah, it's not going to work like this. So, but the point is that this piece, this end here, will come up and connect to the side. So it'll actually be sort of like a diagonal drape. I'm not explaining this well, but it looks really cool. The finishes I've seen look really cool, and I think that's going to be really fun. So yeah, very excited about that. So I'm almost finished with Pinion 11. Loki has not been helpful. Neither has Momo. Anybody who was on Wednesday or Thursday's Twitch streams can attest. Those were hour-long streams that were mostly cats, because while working on this on Wednesday, Loki came up and wanted to be petted, and then Momo got jealous and she came up and laid in the camera, and I could not stitch. I couldn't knit. And then yesterday, Mr. Loki, literally 2 minutes into knitting, I had not even, like, I was still in the middle of the row that I had been on the day before. I was still in the middle of the row. He hops up on a table and lays down in such a way that he would not let me knit. Like, he was laying on my arm and I was trying to just keep finishing the row. But he kept pushing against me. Like, he wouldn't, he just would not. He's like, no, you need to pay attention to me. So then the rest of the stream was Loki. And if you missed it, you can't, if you can't wait for them to show up on YouTube, you're more than welcome to go to my Twitch channel. Those videos will be up there for you to watch. If you can wait for YouTube, I'll probably post them next week. But yeah, so this is looking really cool. I like the way that this is looking. So the next section, section 12, Pinion 12, is supposed to be another garter stitch section, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do garter stitch or not. I probably need the length, but I really hate stitching garter stitch. I'm also wondering if it probably needs the texture, because I did feel like when I skipped it in this area, like it probably needed that extra texture. And part of the reason I skipped it too was because I was concerned about running out of yarn, but realistically I have more yarn from this same dyer, like additional skeins that I can throw in there. I don't know if the colors are gonna work right. I may need to plan ahead, or at least identify colors that go along the end color, because the color that I have to finish this off after the blues and greens is actually sort of golden yellow color. So yeah, I probably need to start stash diving now to make sure that I have the right colors, because it may be that what I want to do is actually add in some additional colors in this section, in the blues and the greens. I know I have blues and greens that I can add in, but it does take deciding now to add those in, because they won't look right if I add them in once I pass this section. So yeah, that's where we are with pinions, and this is the only knitting I've been working on. So I am fairly desperate to finish this section, just because there's only 3 rows left, and I've been sitting with 4 rows left for most of the week. So so that's where we are. I hope y'all are working on some fun stuff. Oh, I was going to talk about the weather. Not that we really need to talk about the weather. So I know some of you get concerned when you hear that Virginia's going to get weather. Just to allay any fears, the storm that, and I think it was much, much, much worse west, like in might have even been worse in North Carolina. This storm was a little weird because it was actually going to hit the coast harder than it was going to hit us leading up to the coast. But in our area, we got less than an inch of snow yesterday, and so far we've not had all the ice that I was concerned about. Ice concerns me more than snow does, because when you get an inch or two of accumulation of ice, that's when power lines start going down and trees start going down and things like that. And that's when the really scary, dangerous stuff happens. So thankfully, it doesn't appear that we're actually going to get all of that ice that they had talked about. Um, so it looks like this weekend's severe weather was not nearly severe, at least in my area, as it could have been. Now, in Northern Virginia and DC, I expect that it was more severe than it has been here. And I know that in the Tidewater area, which is out towards the beach, like the Newport News, Virginia Beach area, I know that they were going to get hit harder than we did. So hopefully everybody in those areas is safe and warm and all that sort of stuff. I'm totally fine where we are. Okay. Well, this might be a shorter one, and I apologize for that. I tried to talk about as much random crap as I could. But I don't have anything else to show you, and I can't think of anything else. I'll think of 10 other things when I get off the video, but yeah, that's all I have for you today. I hope you're having the best day, week, and month that is available to you. We'll talk more about February next week. If you're planning on joining in on that, that's going to be one where it's just a hashtag. We're not doing prizes necessarily and that kind of stuff. But yeah. Oh, speaking of prizes, I noticed that my subscriber count is inching up slowly here on YouTube. So I did want to mention that I am hoping to do a 1,000 subscribers giveaway. Or gift away. I haven't decided what that's going to be. I have no idea what it will be. But once I get a little bit closer, then I'll start talking like specific ideas and things like that. But yeah, I'm over 820 something, 830. I'm over 800 now, which is really, really nice. I bounced around right at 800 for the longest time, so to be like solidly over 800 is pretty exciting. So once we get closer to like 950, then I'll start talking specifics and stuff. I want to do something really nice to thank you all for your support, to thank you for continuing to share me and spread word of my my wackiness all over the internet. But most especially to thank those of you who've been here the whole time, because there's a whole lot of you that have been here for a really long time, and I appreciate you. I especially appreciate the comments and the, you know, the when you laugh along with me, and I especially appreciate when you follow me to other platforms or come with me to other platforms. So when I recognize your names on Twitch from your names here on YouTube, it's very exciting to me to know that that you enjoy hanging out with me enough that you actually want to hang out while I can talk to you live. That's very exciting. So I appreciate that very, very much. And, you know, I want to make sure that I'm going to do something fantastic for you to thank you all for helping me get to that major milestone. Because as most of you know, getting 1,000 subscribers is a big deal on YouTube. That opens up a variety of additional options for you. And it's been a long time that I have been working towards that. So, so yeah, that's going to be a big deal. Speaking of hitting milestones, I am technically affiliate level on Twitch, but the paperwork is causing me issues. I am still waiting for them to finish reviewing the last thing that I turned in. It's supposed to be a much faster process than this. Apparently, I did something wrong with my paperwork, so we'll see. But, you know, I'm trying to put it in perspective. So I've been streaming on Twitch for less than 2 weeks. I've already reached affiliate. Whereas I've been on YouTube for 3 years. And I'm just starting to get close to reaching 1,000 subs. So, so yeah. It's all relative, right? And in the end, what's really important to me is not the numbers and not the additional whatevers. It's the fact that you all appreciate me enough to help me keep doing what I'm doing. So thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. What else? What else? I know there's something I'm missing, which is why I keep babbling, but I can't think of what it is. So I'm just going to sign off now. Have the best day and week and month and weekend that is available to you. Please take care of yourselves. Please stay safe as much as possible. And remember to stay hydrated. Make sure to take all your meds. And remember that you are enough. And I will see you again next time on some platform somewhere. Bye.